I left my tea over there. Damn it. Hi there and welcome to From Ideas to Results. I'm joined by Chris, who is Head of Data here at Sleeping Giant Media, and we're going to be focusing all the things that are happening in the world of data, but also the integration of kind of the paid platforms as well. One of the things that I wanted to touch on is you mentioned Google Tag Gateway. Can you give us a bit of an intro to what that is?
Google Tag Gateway existed for a year or two now. It's essentially a way of being able to harden how data is sent into Google, largely. So you can do it for Google Tag Manager and you can also do it for Google Ads. It is only Google, so it won't help support anything else. So you still would ideally want to have something like server-side in order to improve how those data points are delivered, help overcome things like ad blockers. But Google Tag Gateway is the most reliable way of doing this. It essentially uses your CDN in order to deliver things. So if you've got Cloudflare or Akamai or any of the larger CDN delivery networks, it is the most reliable way of hardening how data is sent and improve signals.
So this is all about data integrity and quality, making sure we're getting as much data as possible back from the user to help a system make better decisions.
Yeah. So one of the most vital things when you're in a world where AI is making so many decisions, so if you've got smart bidding, if you've got Advantage Plus, those are all reliant on having good quality data. Server-side, Google Tag Gateway, these are all ways of ensuring you've got the maximum amount of data, the fewest blind spots, the better decisions that can be made.
So could you give us a sort of almost a hierarchy of preference in terms of these different options? So what's the sort of like the worst, what's the lowest, what's the sort of the start point?
If you're only working with Google, then Google Tag Gateway is simple, easy to implement, especially if you're on something like Cloudflare, Akamai. For all of these two systems, server-side implementation and the Tag Gateway, both do very similar functions. Server-side, you can use it for Meta and Snapchat and TikTok and all of the platforms that you use, and all of the marketing platforms now rely on having that good quality data. Server-side is the gold standard. If you're only using Google, Tag Gateway is fine. Even if you have server-side though, having the Tag Gateway is worth having. And what it's there to do is it's help to avoid ad blockers from saying, oh, here's a network response that is going to Google. Instead of a network response going to Google, it's a network response going to your own domain, and then you pass it on to Google. So it doesn't get blocked as you shouldn't be using this. And similarly, cookies that are being dropped by that network response that are being sent, it says, well, that's fine, because that's you who's dropping that cookie and not some unknown third party that we have less trust for, especially when it is analytics or TikTok marketing or whatever it happens to be, because that is well known as, well, this is marketing and this is something that the user might want to block. Whereas what you'd be doing here is saying, this is something that is being delivered by this site, and therefore we have trust that it should be sent.
Moving sort of more broadly here, just want to touch upon almost how important that is right now in the world of digital marketing. Can you sort of elaborate a little bit as to why we talk so much about data? I know we talk about it a lot, obviously, but also why is it so important?
So in the last decade, we have moved a lot, and particularly in the last 5 years. So there was a time 10 years ago when it would all have been about us having the data that we would wrangle, and we'd make the decisions based off the data we've got. That's still really important to do, but now there are things like smart bidding in Google or Advantage Plus in Facebook, where essentially the algorithm is making those decisions at an auction level with all of the data they've got. So they have way more data points than we ever had. We had lots of really great data, and many of us who've been in marketing for the past 10 years have lamented many times of like, I remember the days when we had loads of great data. We could really identify demographics and pages and all sorts of other things that were really clear. If you do search query reports, you'll notice more and more that those search queries are limited, and there's so many that are now unassigned and you can't see what they are. But that's not an issue that the platforms have themselves. They have access to all of that data, and so it can make much better decisions at an auction by auction and user by user level. So our job over the past 5 years has moved much more into what is really true marketing of audience layers, making sure we've got the right messaging and making sure that those algorithms are being fed with as much possible data for it to make better decisions, especially as some of those platforms are now moving into making decisions about the creative itself. PMax within Google, also Elements within Advantage Plus, it can actually start start adjusting images, it can start adjusting ad copy. Now that it's able to do all of those things, you really need to feed it as much data as you possibly can so that it can make those adjustments and then see the changes in that data. And then you add to that consent that came in 2018 and how there's these huge gaps in data just from people opting out, not only the people that have ad blockers. That's why filling that gap is so important.
Andromeda as well, which is a new kind of feature from Meta side of things. All of this is going to rely on this sort of thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. There we go. So get your data in order. Remember, good data in, much better decision making and insight on the other side of this one as well. So I hope that was of use. If you'd like to find out more content, we've got it on our website and our socials. That's it from us this time, and we'll see you next time.